I want to welcome, we have some visitors to here today who have come from afar. And we welcome them as they come to share with us both in our worship and in our Holy Eucharist. Oh God, take my lips and speak through them. Take our minds and think through them. Take our hearts and set them on fire. Amen. We have two ways of thinking about saints. And in reality, it turns out that neither one of them is very helpful. We have those saints with the capital S. You know, St. Peter, St. Teresa, St. Augustine. The named heroes of our faith, who have made their mark in the world and left a legacy of holiness that outlasted their lifetimes. And then we think of those saints with the lowercase s. And here we usually mean someone who have a heroically long-suffering patience or rigidly upright moral conduct. But either one of those definitions is intimidatingly inaccessible to you and me, the regular folks. You know, the regular folks who occasionally lock their keys in their car. They've been known to shout at the television during a key play in a game. We feel like we can live like the people who bravely faced the lions in the Colosseum, who went down to glorious martyrdom. Or even our saintly neighbor down the block who never ever misses Sunday church. Now, we don't feel we can live like these people. Dying violently or living joylessly seems to be the two main models for sainthood. And neither fulfills Jesus' hope for us that we might have life and have it abundantly. And this perhaps is where we tell ourselves to step back and keep distance from sainthood. But the original use of the word saints, particularly by St. Paul, was meant to indicate all the faithful gathered to worship. So today is not just about heroes of the faith. It's not even just about our beloved departed who have gone before us. This is not some saints' day. This is All Saints' Day. The great saints of the church, the heroes of the faith who gave their lives for the gospel, are in fact folks just like you and me. We know that they were everyday human beings, just like us. We can be sure that they, too, made the same mistakes and had the same frailties as we do. So picture being a disciple standing around as Jesus gently and carefully lays his hands on a pain-wrecked man or woman. The entire form of his love trained on that child of God, ready to pour out his healing grace. And laying his hands on that dirty, bad-smelling, sore-laden body of some hopeful soul, he looks up at his disciples and he says, "Blessed are you who are poor. Blessed are you who are hungry, who weep, who are excluded and reviled and persecuted." Jesus said, "You are blessed. You are beloved. And you are mine." Many of us hearing the gospel today are not literally poor and hungry. But those of us who are blessed with economic riches and societal privileges are often desperately poverty-stricken in other ways. We tend to strive for meaning in our lives. We weep silently inward tears of loneliness, perhaps depression. We hunger for community without even realizing it. We thirst for our own lost integrity and hope in a world driven by greed, cynicism. But we do not need to fear looking down into the depths of suffering, both inward and outward. Whether the abyss we run from is the hungry and oppressed around the world, or in our neighborhoods, or in this undiscovered darkness with our own hearts. When we look down into those places, the amazing thing is, Jesus is looking up at us. And where He is, we never need fear to go. And that's what the great saints, the heroes of the faith, knew. They saw Jesus looking up at them and called them blessed. So they followed Him down into the depths. And there they found healing and joy and communion with God and one another. An individual who follows with Jesus to join Him in lifting the whole world up. That's all a saint is. No glory, no perfection, not even any particular holiness, but rather just mustering the courage to say yes to His love. His love that reaches out to touch us in our poorest and our most wounded places. So you want to know if you're a saint or if I'm a saint? See Jesus look up at us and say, you are blessed. So today, let us take that truth into our hearts and know that today is All Saints for each and every one of us. Amen.